if you're looking for something to watch this weekend, I think the new Hunger Games movie is definitely worth checking out. And the other movie that came out this week, Next Goal Wins, I didn't feel too strong about it. We'll talk about it.
I'm Jupe. That was Hempy. Welcome back to ByteSized Talks. Let's talk about it.
All right. So I just came back from the movie theaters. We'll start out with the smaller, lesser known movie, Next Goal Wins, which is about America Samoa, island nation. It's one of our provinces. It's similar to Puerto Rico. Apparently, before the like where the time where this movie takes place, it's based off true events. America Samoa as a soccer team had never scored a goal in competition.
Oh shit.
So yeah, and it's one of
Goddamn.
those things like part of it was like they didn't want to bring in an outs like in the movie they kind of say like oh like we don't want to like we want to coach from the island.
Yeah.
But if you have people trying to teach who've never played at a high level playing against other teams who play at a high level, right? Like
Yeah.
you need somebody there. So it kind of tells a story about this little island team. They're supposed to be like the underdog ragtag bunch. They go through a training with this new coach again. Like it's typical story of a coach to where it's and this is all from the previews, by the way. He's fallen out of favor um, in his professional career, and it's almost like a punishment to go work with these
Sounds like McFarland a little bit.
McFarlane, Mighty Ducks,
Yeah.
right? Like there's a number of movies where like there's a promising coach, something happens in his life, and then he
Yeah.
goes and works with this ragtag bunch, and he's like, oh, they're good, and he believes in them. Um, a criticism I have about the movie, and again, I don't know, like Samoa. I think my nephew said that's the proper way of saying it. I'm butchering that, but I don't know that culture at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know their interactions. Like in the Thor movies, Korg, like how
Cork.
he's just the rock guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like how he always just like he's always joking around or has a humor
Yeah.
underlying to it. He just kind of sometimes comes off as a bit aloof. Like
Yeah.
um, that's very much in the way like they portray the Samoan people, right? Like,
Okay.
and again, I think it could just be their culture, and I'd be really curious to see a review of somebody who is actually from there who could like attest, like, no, that's just the way we talk and
Yeah.
the way we interact, and because if I'm being critical, it makes them seem um, a little like almost like slow in a sense,
Yeah.
like this is like a throwaway part of the movie, but like coach gets mad, he's like, oh, this little kid's in charge, and they're like, so like the coach who used to run the team's like, so what do we do? And the kid's like, I don't know. Like so the like the assistant coach is like, okay guys, we're gonna do shoulder exercises, and it's like, and the team starts doing it, and so it's like really like like
Yeah.
so something was there missing. I think it's a good story. I wouldn't rush out to go see it though. um when it comes on the streaming service, if it's during the winter months, you're home, it's cold out, you don't want to go anywhere, watch it. I gave it like a 4.5 out of 10. um
God damn, you're good this way. The critics give this a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah, and again, it's an interesting story. It's a story I never heard of before.
Yeah.
Maybe like I appreciate the movie Flaming Hot because I identify like as Chicano, like
Yeah.
that's
It's our
that's my culture.
culture.
So like when they joke around like that, like I get the jokes. Like where
Yeah.
other people be like, why is that funny? Like, am I supposed to laugh at that? But I also feel like in the movie, like they show him in the beginning doing the haka. Do you know what the haka is?
No, what's that? Oh,
That's like
I think I've heard of that. I think The
they do it
Rock
in a lot of
talked about that.
yeah, they do it like in one of the Fast and like the Hobbs and Shaw movie, like the Rock
Yeah.
spinoff. But it also happens on a lot of rugby games where like they make like these faces. It's supposed to be like an intimidating
Yeah. I remember that.
factor, and I think that's something like those people that from that region really take a lot of pride in.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, they're not even able to perform like a half decent haka. Like they're all out of place. I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like in their culture, that's something they practice. It's ceremonial.
Cabrón.
You know,
Can you do a grito?
full. Okay. I'm not gonna try to do one right now. Okay, because I tried getting you to do one on a road trip, and you weren't willing to do it. And it was just me, you, and my dog Sierra.
Cabrón, you
So
gotta be in the moment. You can't just fucking pull it out of nowhere.
I can do one, but it literally sounds like I'm saying ha 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 hi, like ha 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 hi,
all
like.
all I'm saying is culturally maybe they weren't as attuned as other people are.
But again, if that's something, if you're gonna perform it, right? Like it'd be different. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm not going out there and like, oh, dude, let me rep right now, and going out there,
That would be
hi,
hilarious.
right?
I
Like,
would love to see
uh,
that.
I know that's something for like like somebody else in my family to go do,
Yeah.
but uh, I don't know what the like. I guess like the people who know how to do like the traditional Mexican dancing,
Yeah.
like if they just went out there and just like started freak dancing, you'd be like, or like just like told like if there's people doing like that, that'd be like the thing like. And they do like the dress dance where they're kind of like moving very like fluidly and
Folklorico. That's what it's called.
yeah. Um, when they do that, like they could be like multiple couples
Yeah.
or pairs on, and they know how to like kind of
Yeah.
weave between each other. Imagine if they kept bumping into each other, and they're doing this on a performance, not just drunk at a party.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, like it should be. If you're going to represent your team by doing this, it's either you do it at an appreciable level, or you don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I had with like the movie. Like they didn't show that. So again, and it could have been maybe that's where they're at. Some fun parts, some good laughs, but just overall, it just needed a couple more edits to make it tuned up. Um, fix a couple of the things, but again, watch it on the Saturday afternoon when it's raining in December. So wait a
It's
month and
raining in December.
well, cabrón, not every place snows,
The people
right?
that listen to us, most of them at their places know.
Hey, I don't know. I think we have a decent Southern California, like
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
yeah. Um, so the next big movie, or the big movie that we want to watch today, was the new Hunger Games movie. What was the name of it, Julian?
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
The Ballad. This fool kept calling it the Ballad.
Esta
Um,
ballad, cabrón.
um, I really liked it. I wasn't a huge like mega fan of the original Hunger Games series. Um, However, this one I think because like in the new one, like the over the top costumes, that
Mm,
super advanced society of District One, like how
yeah,
everything's just so flared out
yeah.
and over the top, and
It
uh,
was like San Francisco
well, not
or
even that, but it
LA.
was cartoonish. Yeah, like like the makeup that they wore, and like
Yeah.
this is very much a more grounded version of the Hunger Games.
Real quick, Yeonmi Parks. Have you heard of her?
Sounds familiar.
Korean that escaped from North
Oh yeah,
Korea.
the heavies.
The heavies. There you go.
Yeah.
She said that she watched Hunger Games. She's like, "Oh, that's North Korea. What are you guys
Yeah.
talking about?" I've lived that.
um, but yeah, like the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games, like um, just again that overly artistic, overly glammed out
Yeah,
feel. Like I don't know, it just kind of made it weird, little cringe. Or like when they had like those like I don't know if you remember the first one that had like those demon dogs that they just like
yeah,
somehow synthesized out of nothing,
yeah.
right? Like they're like these. This one is very much more like mechanical in a sense.
Okay.
Like it was solid. It wasn't a digital feel. It was very
It,
like
it is the prequel to the Hunger Games series, right?
yeah, and I think it's like I don't know, like probably like 60, 70 years prior to like what we saw with Jennifer Lawrence. So
Okay, so that makes sense. It's more
um
mechanical rather than the
yeah,
advanced. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Um but it was good, dude. I the her name is Rachel Zegler.
Okay.
the star of it. She did a really good performance. I really liked her character. That girl can sing. Um, uh, she was getting some bad hype with the press tour she did for the new Snow White movie.
Oh,
Um,
it's her?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and so I was like, man, like depending on how she does here, might like see if people even want to go see the Snow White movie when that comes
Yeah.
out in like a couple months. I think it's coming out like this upcoming, like in 6 months from now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people
Um,
have been kinda bashing on her for her attitude more than anything.
yeah, but dude, the performance I think she gives in this is gonna make people be like, let's give her a chance. Like,
Alright.
Disney is modifying everything a little bit. The Little Mermaid was black, like Snow White. Like
Dude, the
she can have a tan.
the Marvels tanked. I think it did 100
Uh,
it's done 100,000,000 so far globally, so it's
yeah,
doing pretty bad.
I think that has to do with more like besides like maybe the agenda stuff aside. I feel like it has to do more with just the state of Marvel.
Dude, no one knows what the fuck's going on in the MCU. There's so much shit
Yeah.
going on, everybody's lost.
And then also I've heard people talk about releasing Loki at the same time,
Yeah.
kind of diluted the water. So people are like, why would I go see this movie? And I guess in the comic books, like Marvel, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and then like I guess Spectrum or whatever her name was, like
Yeah.
they don't give her a name in the movie. Um, they're like B list comics. Like they
Yeah.
never actually got a big following.
Yeah.
Um, so the fact that they're at those, like, I think that's to attribute to it. But then also some people are just they want to hate that movie,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
you know. But getting back to the Hunger Games, good movie. Uh, it didn't feel like 2 hours and 45 minutes. Like,
Oh, wow. It's a long movie.
yeah, it's a long movie, but I when I watched it with my nephew, and we walked out, and he's like, dude, that didn't feel like 3 hours. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a movie that passes pretty easily. Again, I think of the four Hunger Games
Yeah.
movies, I'd probably put it at the top
Oh, shit.
ranking them. Yeah, I really thought it was good. I again kind of buying into uh more of like how they presented the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And I would give it like a solid like uh 8 out of 10, I would
Okay.
say.
We're a little off on this one. The critics give it a 64% on this one.
Okay. Um Still really early, I mean,
Yeah.
came out today. So or this today is at the time of recording this, November 16th. We'll see how long it takes our editor to get it out there.
Say November 20th? Is that what I heard?
um but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's if you're looking for something to go watch, it's definitely going out there. It's worth the price of admission to, especially I think if you like the movies, the other Hunger Games movies, you'll enjoy this.
Alright.
Um, and I was kind of skeptical of uh Rachel Zegler going into, because again I heard the controversy from the Snow White
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, this this is gonna like potentially help her start her recovery process, because I think she did a really good performance.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I think most of the problem with the Snow White thing is she's been very God, how should I say this? Very kind of entitled to the role in the sense, and she kind of rubbed people the wrong way in that sense.
well, I did a little bit of I did a quick YouTube look of her before this, and the big problem was that she didn't agree with like the way the original Snow White
Yeah,
was portrayed. Like
yeah,
she called the prince like a stalker, like
yeah,
kind of like that it's not about not every girl wants to just like fall in love and meet a prince. Like this is more, again, probably taking more of a modern agenda
yeah,
to it.
yeah, and
Uh,
it fits a modern agenda, cool. But I mean that story was written what in the 50s, 40s,
30s, I
30s.
think you said
Yeah, so like
37, I
a
think.
whole different time. No need to bash on it at this point.
Yeah, and like again, like people are saying like Snow White should be in in skin tone,
Yeah.
Snow White, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, but like, did it make sense when Ariel, like, dude, you put a redhead at the beach, they're gonna get sunburned. Like,
Dude, it's a half fish, half woman. You're really gonna worry about the skin tone? Come on.
yeah. Uh, so, yeah, what she said probably wasn't, she's new to Hollywood. I don't know if she did stuff as like a child or
I
anything,
have no clue.
but like one of those things, like if you come in with an opinion, you don't know how to do PR,
Yeah.
and you happen to say what you actually believe, like yeah, you're gonna probably irritate some people,
Oh, yeah.
especially Disney has such a strong following, and but like I would argue that like a lot of the stuff Disney has done with the live actions have taken away from the original ones,
Yeah.
good and bad,
Yeah.
um and I think this is the just part of the process. And what's interesting though, I heard like she didn't even have to audition for the Hunger Games movie.
What? Why?
She auditioned for Snow White without actually knowing it was Snow White. She was able to kind of interpret it
Oh,
off
okay.
the way that worked. But like when it came to the Hunger Games, like they just offered it to her. Like, oh, we want you
Damn.
for this, and she turned it down. She thought it was gonna be like too far away from home, and like but she ended up doing it. I think it was going to be a good career move because I think the original Snow White was supposed to release before the Hunger Games,
Oh, I see.
but just due to like reshoots and all
Yeah.
of that, that got delayed really badly. The Hunger Games came out before. I think it's going to be to the benefit of Snow White in
Yeah.
general because I think this is going to give the people a chance to see her as an actor and not an activist, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it is. I mean, Disney's kind of been tanking a little bit in the past few movies, so hopefully this
Yeah.
gives it a boost.
I saw something talking about like you have a corporation that knows how to make movies for families and kids take over something like Marvel, where it's more, you know, uh, adults and people who like maybe like like they like cartoons but violent cartoons or
Yeah.
like comics.
Yeah.
Like so you had something that was supposed to be like PG-13 and up,
Yeah.
not PG up to PG-13.
Yeah.
You know, so uh, yeah, Marvel, they're going to be struggling. Disney, uh, I think they've lost the trust. Like it used to be like Disney put out a certified hit, but I really think Disney Plus kind of screwed those guys.
Yeah, they've been putting out too much. It's just saturating the market in a sense.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, like the other things to watch on Disney Plus, if you're not there to watch a Marvel movie or one of the cartoons, like there's not a whole lot to watch on
No, there isn't.
Disney
I've actually
Plus.
scrolled through it trying to find something, and no, it's either Marvel or some old movie that I used to watch when I was a kid or something like that. That's about it.
Yeah, like there's not a whole or Star Wars also.
Star Wars, which
But yeah.
I don't really watch Star Wars anyway, so
Yeah. So yeah, if you're not into Marvel, Star Wars, and want to watch some like very kid orientated thing, like there is no just like good action flicks that they have.
yeah.
You know, I think as a streaming service, that's going to hurt them long term if they can't bring in something like a Paramount Plus or something that has more gritty dramas or
Yeah.
something for more of adult audience. But maybe they don't want to do that. Like that's what their vision is, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but let's see. Yeah, I think that's what we got for you. So if you're going to the movies, next goal wins. Unless you, if it's screaming to you, go see it. But if you're like debating between the two, definitely
If it's
Hunger
kicking and
Games.
screaming at you,
Yeah, you know there's a movie called Kicking and Screaming.
let's talk the
Okay,
movie. Yeah, that's right, bitch.
yeah, I was
I know my movies sometimes.
oh yeah, fine.
Sometimes.
uh, but yeah, if you guys have been following along to this point, hit like, subscribe. Uh, a movie or show, I won't give a rating on it until next time. But if you're looking for something just to stream, check out on Netflix All the Light We Cannot See. That was an interesting story. I think it's worth watching. It's like a three episode miniseries.
And if you're looking for anime, Go check out Jujutsu Kaisen. It was recommended to me recently. Really good anime. I really liked it. I actually binge watched it in the last 4 days. So
Yeah,
go check
if
that
you watched our video last week, and you're looking for anime, you're probably also looking for your dad.
out. Yeah, I can confirm that one.
All right,
All
guys.
right.
Until next time,
All
take
right,
it easy.
everybody. Like and subscribe and take care, everybody.